Greetings, beloved light warriors. It's Saratoga, and this is our weekly focus card reading for the week beginning September 13th through September 19th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel, I do this every Sunday so we can reset our focus and our energy for the coming week ahead. And then I do my regular on-camera videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, let's get into this week's reading. So this is a beautiful card. As you can see, it says walking away. Now, I'm sure that a number of you are probably going to find a very deeply personal meaning for you for this card. So of course, feel free to interpret it in your own unique way if that so inspires you. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking about this in a more general way. So let's take a look at the image on this card. This card is clearly about leaving the past behind. It's about freedom. It's about moving into a new phase in your life. There's so many ways that we could look at this card. But I want to look at it in sort of the macro version and the micro version. So the macro version would have to do with the state of the earth, the state of our world. And as you know, as we all know, this planet has changed dramatically in the last almost 2 years now, and it does not appear that it's ever going back to what it was. So we could interpret this in a larger sense as leaving behind any attachments we had to the old way that things were. Now, you can also see that the woman on the image in this card, she is smiling. She has clearly made her decision to move on, to move forward. She's just looking back over her shoulder as though she's saying one last goodbye, but she's at peace with her decision. She's at peace with walking away from the old. So I know it might seem obvious to say, well, you know, it's kind of obvious the world's not going back, but at the same time, if we're not really conscious, we can still be holding on to a feeling in ourselves about that old world, which could actually be holding us back from being able to shift into the now of things and be responsive and be function as responsive, resourceful creators in terms of what we need to create for ourselves anew. And let's look at what just the image of the card of what she looks like she's leaving behind, because this it looks like it's the image of a garden. It looks like a very ornate gate, very old. It actually looks quite nice, what she's leaving behind. So it might be, it could symbolize that what you're leaving behind is something that you formerly really enjoyed or really liked, but now it is time to go forward. So why is this so important in the larger sense? It's important because we need our full attention on what is happening in the world right now and day by day, week by week, week by week, month by month. It needs our full attention. We can't have too much of our attention still attached to the past, because what that means, if we are in that state, is that our energy is being held back and we don't have sufficient consciousness and energy to respond in the now to what is happening in the world today. So I think there's a very strong message about letting go of, well, let's put it this way, recognizing fully and consciously that the old earth, the way things were before, is over. It's time to leave it behind. It's time to move forward into the now. I'm not even going to say the future, but I think it's even more important to focus on the now of things, because things are shifting and changing so quickly. Now, this could also represent her moving into her ascension path, because as you can see where she's headed, where she's going, we can't really see what is in front of her on this card, but we can see light. So in a way, she's moving into the unknown. But as she moves into the unknown, she's made her peace with the past. She's letting it go, and that's what we need to do. And I want to say something here for those of us who are starseeds, light workers, way showers, and awakening humans. it's really important that we recognize that we came to this planet with a purpose and a mission and an intention. We cannot fully enact that purpose and that mission if we try to filter our perception through the false identity that this world may have forced us to create in the past. So that's the other thing. There are just so many things that we could be letting go of. In fact, we can look at this card as a real gift, a real message of think of all the things that you can let go of, that you can release, that you can walk away from and restore your energy. Because everything that you might be holding on to, that you no longer probably ought to be holding on to because it just doesn't apply anymore, that is taking your energy. So if you're holding on to something that's not moving, that's of the past, it could be a memory, it could be a situation, it could be how you perceive yourself in the world that has never worked for you before, and you know you need to change that perception so that you can go forward and stand in your power. It could be any number of those things, but whatever it is, if you're really attached to it, it's taking energy to hold on to it. And this might actually help you really understand how to let go of something in a way that's so much easier. If you just pause and look in your life and say, it'll probably come to you really quickly if you're just centered and quiet and calm and receptive to your intuition. It'll probably come to you very quickly what it is you need to let go of, what it is you might need to walk away from. It could be a habit, it could be a memory, it could be a pattern, it could be anything at all. It could be a way of life, it could be a way of trying to live that's not working for you. But just let that come to mind and pay attention to the fact that whatever that is, because if you need to let go of it, it means it's no longer appropriate, right? For you to hold on to it. Pay attention to the energy it is taking for you to hold on to that situation, that pattern, that belief, that habit, whatever it is. Because it's taking your energy. It takes energy to hold on to something. So, this whole idea here is to free our energy so that we can move forward onto that ascension path. And that's what letting go does. Letting go is bringing your energy back to center, back into your presence, back into your body, and saying, I choose to apply my energy differently now. I choose to bring all my energy back to center, let go of those things, cut my psychic cords to those things. So now I am fully embodied in my presence again. I'm fully awake, I'm fully aware, and now I can move forward into the future. So I also want to take a look at the clothing that this woman is wearing, because if you notice, her clothing is very loose, it's very flowing, it's very free, which could also indicate a little bit of what I was just saying about energy, because if she's letting go of, she's walking away from the past, she's walking away from all of those things that she no longer needs to hold on to, even though they might have been pleasant. Because I want to bring up again the fact that in this image, what she's walking away from doesn't look bad, it doesn't look horrible, it doesn't look dark, it actually looks like it could be quite nice, right? But it's kind of over. So she's walking away, and her clothes have that beautiful sort of graceful flowingness. And look at the color of her clothes. They're pink, right? Pink is a color that denotes love. Could also have some red in it. You could say it's energy. So she's loving her choice. She's loving the idea of going forward with passion. And she's free. She doesn't want to be encumbered. So in other words, she's wearing these loose-fitting, flowing clothes because she does not want to be encumbered anymore by whatever else she needs to let go of. She wants to feel free. So this card is very much also about freedom. Now, the way the world is changing today is putting us all in positions of needing to make choices and decisions that perhaps we never dreamed we'd have to make. So this is another reason why it's important to let go, to walk away from, to make your peace with whatever is no longer, I keep wanting to use the word appropriate. I could say whatever no longer serves you, but I think it's more about an appropriate use of your energy. Do you have your energy tied up in things that are not going to help you move forward? Are you tethered? Is your energy tethered to things that are holding you back? Is your energy and consciousness tethered to things that are holding you back and causing you stress and causing you confusion because you don't know how to make those things integrate with the future you see in front of you, with the way in which the world is going, whether that's good or bad? So that's really so important to be aware of. And I think this could be such a positive week. And I want to mention one other thing. The feeling I'm getting very strongly from this card is that there's an energy right now that is very, very powerful and supportive for us to do this. And I think we should take advantage of this. And it's interesting because we're in the month of September, which is a very transitional month, seasonally speaking, right? Whether you're in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be fall. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's going to be spring. But it's a very transitional period of the seasons. So there's an energy from that too that's very supportive of this. Now, I want to point out in the image, it looks like a butterfly that's lit up above her head, sort of to the right. That could indicate transformation. That could also be an image of an angel, of angelic support. And you can see a similar color around her head, the same similar color of yellow. So that's really interesting. I didn't even see that until just now. So I almost get the feeling like the butterfly that's sort of in light could be an angelic presence. It could be her guides who are inspiring her. It's like the light from that guide, from that angelic guidance or her guides or whatever, is inspiring her, which is why the same colored light is around her head, with guidance, with support, with help. So it's saying, okay, we're moving into a new realm, a new reality, a new situation. But that guidance is there, that support is there. Your intuition, using your intuition, you can tap into that guidance so you will know where to go. You will know what your next step is. So let's just kind of consolidate this message in the simplest possible way. It's all about freeing up your energy, or assessing what you're doing with your energy right now. Where do you have your energy anchored right now? Is it anchored in things that are just not appropriate for you as a starseed, as a light worker, as an awakening human? Not appropriate to who you are and why you're here. And when I say not appropriate, I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean that more in the sense of aligned. Is where your energy anchored right now? Is that aligned with who you are and why you're here? Or is it holding you back? Is it pulling you down? Is it making you feel frustrated? Is it making you feel trapped? So walking away is about walking away gently, gracefully, making peace with it, and going forward onto this ascension path that is in front of us. One more thing I want to add about walking away and what she's walking away from, or what we could all be walking away from. We could all be walking away from any illusions that we had about the situation on this planet. Are you holding on to any illusions about the situation here? Or are you present in the now? Because I think this is very, very important. Look at the fence and the gate that she's on the other side of. If we have illusions about our reality, if we have illusions about the state of the world, that could act like a fence or a gate that prevents us from having the clarity that we need to take the correct steps that we need to take to move forward in our purpose, our mission, and to come through this fully intact as the cosmic beings that we are. So you also want to be aware of any illusions about life, about the planet, about yourself, about whatever that you also could potentially be holding on to, that could actually function almost like a cage around your consciousness. We don't need that. Now, if you want to know how to let go of illusions, it's really simple. Ask yourself, am I fully present in the now? Am I awake? Am I aware? 100% without judgment, without analysis, without any of that. Am I fully present in the now? So I'm going to complete this with a final message that I'm getting here, that what we're really aiming for is to be fully present in our bodies without having our energy tethered in all these different directions and all these different things and habits and people and circumstances and, you know, the old world and all this stuff. Or even politics. We don't want our energy tethered there either. Okay, so wherever your energy is tethered, you're going to be held back. How wonderful is it to consider having all of your energy back in your body so you are fully present, fully awake, fully aware? Do you realize how calm you're going to be if you can do that? Oh my goodness, you're going to be so calm. You're going to be so clear, so confident, and being present in the now takes you out of the turmoil and the tumult, I guess is the word, of the rolling stormy waves of planet Earth. It takes you out of that and it brings you back to center. It brings you back to your heart. It brings you back to yourself. It brings you back to that infinite cosmos, that infinite source that breathes you, that keeps you alive, that keeps you awake and aware and conscious. And when you are present in that place, all of this stuff fades away. It just kind of fades into the distance. And so much of it is illusionary anyway. So how much better is it to be fully present and fully conscious? Okay, so let's think about that this week. Let's think about, what do we need to let go of? Habits, people, circumstances, situations, perceptions, illusions, whatever it is for you. Is your energy tethered in those places? If it is, consider bringing that energy back, because you need it. You need your energy. You need your consciousness. You need to be whole. You need to be restored in full presence of who you really are. Okay, so I hope you found this reading helpful. I always enjoy doing these for you guys, and I very much look forward to seeing you all in the next video. I'm wishing you a beautiful, inspiring week ahead. Have a lovely day, everyone. Namaste.